Yo, what is up, YouTube boxing family? I wanted to make this video to give credit where credit is due to a fighter that should get more love than for what people don't really talk more about him. But I just wanted to make this quick little video on Mr. Jaime Arboleda. For those of you that don't know who Jaime Arboleda is, he is a Panamanian fighter out of Panama, and I believe he's out of Panama City, if I'm not mistaken. He trains out of Miami, Florida, if I'm not mistaken. But Jaime Arboleda, he's a good, decent fighter out of Panama. And for those of you that don't know who Jaime is, he's a super featherweight fighter. He had fought under the tutelage of I think Luis Ortiz's trainer. I forgot that guy's name, but he's that white guy, with the beard. I'm not too sure who he is, but I could have sworn that was his last trainer that he had, and I'm not too sure if he's still with him, but I really don't know what's going on with Jaime because he hasn't really been on the radar as of late, and I really find it sad because I actually do like Jaime. Like, I think Jaime is a good fighter. He has a little bit of holes to work on, but I think eventually his name will rise. It's just that the problem with some of these fighters that are coming from the Latin American nations or Hispanic countries is that the problem with some of these fighters, not all, is that they really do lack the ability to adjust to certain styles, and it's nothing to really shame on them. It's just that the problem is that you have some guys out here in America that just outweigh them in skill level and talent, and the problem is that when you have those type of people being matched up against you, that's where like your style ends up becoming outclassed. And I think that the biggest problem with a guy like Jaime Arboleda is that he is a good fighter. Don't get it twisted, but he needs to have the proper team to develop his skill set to become a much more devastating boxer. I think Jaime, he can fight. He just needs to have certain tools and adjustments to be made a certain type of way for him to win. And I think eventually, like, we will see it happen. But it's just that the problem with him is just that he needs to develop his skill set to a certain level of which he's more confident with how he fights. And I think he has the tools to become a champion. It's just that the problem that I see with Jaime is, I would say, the lack of defensive irresponsibility, and I would say the lack of discipline of being, how should I say, technically uneducated with his shot selection, and I would say honestly just like adjusting to the proper fighting style, because that's really the biggest problem in the sport of boxing, with a lot of fighters that are just a naturally bred power puncher, or they just fight like one particular way. You don't really know what to do in massive situations where you obviously end up putting yourself in a bigger problem. But let's talk about Jaime's recent activity, because obviously he lost to Chris Colbert back in 2020. That was like 2 years ago. Up to date, very very huge notable loss in which he could have won the WBA interim super featherweight title to become the mandatory, in which that would have made him closer to a fight with I think Gervonta Davis at the time frame. But still, obviously, like, we all know that Gervonta Davis, he vacated, and then from there on, that's when Roger Gutierrez, he fought for the vacancy for the WBA regular, and I think the super belt is already vacated. So at that point, the WBA just needs to be unified for the belt to be elevated to the super. So the biggest problem that I have with this is that Jaime, he has been, severely inactive. His last fight was back in January 14th of 2022. He only had one fight in 2021, which was very, very weird. He fought a guy, 43 and 7-1. Some old dude that nobody never cared of. He knocked him out in 4 rounds. But ever since then, he hasn't really been progressing. And look, I'm not really too sure what his plans are, but I would assume that he's trying to get back up to the world title stage very quickly. But the biggest issue that I have with Jaime is that he doesn't really have that many options if he's trying to get to the world title level. Like, I mean, I think honestly, for starters, he should probably go after a guy like, Andy Vences, maybe, Muhammad Yakubov, the same guy that lost to Oshaki Foster. Um, I wouldn't mind seeing a fight between him and Xavier Martinez. I think he can easily knock out Xavier. I think Xavier, he's like, he's vulnerable to the chin, and he's just not that type of dude that everyone says that he is. So I don't know. I think there's plenty of good high level quality competition in the super featherweight division, because just by looking at the names, you got William Foster, you got my brother Luis Melendez, which he's gonna be fighting Eduardo Ramirez come this Saturday for the WBC #1 spot position, which I don't understand how that's ever to be a thing, but he told me that the winner of that fight between him and Eduardo Ramirez will be #1 for the WBC to face for Shakur Stevenson. So I'm not too sure if I'm really, sold on that principle, because I think that's a robbery to Oshaki Foster's, career, because I don't know what's going on with Oshaki Foster, but I just find that to be very disrespectful to his position in the division, and I think that's really, really messed up. You know what I'm saying? Because he really deserved it, and I don't know like what's been going on with him. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's just messed up, man. But either way, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I really hope Jaime, he can be back on the world title stage, and I wish him nothing but the best. But I figured that I'd make this quick little video to just give my props to his career, or to give him props for his career, and I hope he can rise up high to the occasion. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about Mr. Jaimie Arboleda, and that's about it, y'all. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.